You won't believe what just happened on national television. Go Eun broke down in tears during a live interview, and it all started the moment someone mentioned Lee Min-ho's name. This emotional outburst shocked the entire industry and left fans speechless. Don't forget to subscribe, so you won't miss more exclusive stories like this one that leave even the biggest celebrities shaken to their core. The interview was supposed to be lighthearted, a casual sit-down with Go Eun to promote her latest film. The set was bright, the energy was cheerful, and Kim was her usual graceful self, smiling, laughing softly, and answering questions with the elegance she's known for. The host praised her acting range, discussed her busy schedule, and asked about upcoming projects. Everything was going smoothly. That is, until a simple question changed everything. The host, trying to stir a bit of nostalgia, asked, "You've worked with many great actors. How does it feel when people still talk about your chemistry with Lee Min-ho from The King, Eternal Monarch?" For a second, time seemed to freeze. Go Eun's smile faltered. Her eyes blinked rapidly, and she reached up to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear. A nervous habit her longtime fans instantly recognized. The studio audience went silent. Even the host seemed unsure whether to follow up. Then, something unexpected happened. Go Eun tried to answer, but her voice cracked. "Lee Min-ho," she began, her voice trailing off. She looked down, then suddenly covered her face with her hands. A visible shiver ran through her shoulders. Tears began to fall. There was no dramatic music, no cut to commercial. Just raw silence. Real emotion. Go Eun, one of the most poised professional actresses in South Korea, was crying on live TV. "I'm sorry," she whispered after a moment, trying to compose herself. "I didn't expect that question to hit so hard." The host, clearly shaken, offered her a tissue and gently asked if she wanted to skip the question. But Kim, ever the professional, shook her head. She took a deep breath, wiped her tears, and began to speak. Not as a celebrity, but as a human being carrying an unspoken story. "You know, when people ask me about Lee Min-ho, they usually mean it from a fan's perspective," she said quietly. "They loved our chemistry on screen. And I loved it too. I loved working with him, truly. He's one of the most generous actors I've ever met. But," her voice trembled again, "what they don't know is what happened after the cameras stopped rolling." That line alone sent a ripple across the internet. Social media lit up within seconds. Viewers began speculating. Was there more to their relationship? Were there lingering feelings between the two stars? Go Eun continued, her voice still soft but steady now. "Lee Min-ho is not just an amazing actor. He's also someone who made a lasting impression on me. After filming Wrapped, we kept in touch for a while. There were dinners, late-night calls, support during difficult times. It wasn't public. We were careful, but it was real, at least to me." That quiet confession confirmed what many fans had suspected, but never dared to believe. The chemistry wasn't just acting. It was something deeper, more intimate. She took another breath. "We were both busy. Our schedules never aligned. And eventually things just faded. We never had a falling out, no drama. Just distance. And time. But every now and then, I still think about him." At this point, even the host was visibly moved. The interview had taken a deeply emotional turn, far beyond scripted promotion. Go Eun wasn't just reminiscing. She was unveiling a piece of her heart. "What made you cry just now?" the host asked gently. Kim looked down for a moment, her eyes glistening. "It's the memories," she said. "I guess I didn't realize how much I'd tucked them away. When you asked about him, it was like unlocking a door I hadn't opened in years. And suddenly, everything came rushing back." Then, almost without meaning to, she added something that stunned everyone watching. "I think a part of me still wonders what could have happened if we had just tried harder." That sentence broke the internet. Fans flooded forums, social media platforms, and comment sections with emotional responses. The idea that Go Eun and Lee Min-ho could have been something more, something real, shook the fandom to its core. It wasn't long before old clips of the two resurfaced online. Behind-the-scenes videos from The King, Eternal Monarch, moments where they looked into each other's eyes just a second too long, or laughed a bit too sincerely. Every glance and smile was now being reanalyzed, reinterpreted. Back in the studio, Go Eun managed a soft smile through her tears. "He was there for me during one of the hardest times in my life," she said. "When my father passed away, Lee Min-ho sent me a message that I will never forget. It wasn't long or poetic. It was simple. He said, "You don't have to be strong today. Just breathe." And for some reason, those words meant more than anything else I heard at the time. The vulnerability in her voice made it clear. This wasn't just a media moment. It was a revelation. "I think that's why his name still gets to me," she said. "It's not just a name. It's a chapter of my life." The host, clearly emotional as well, wrapped up the interview with a respectful tone. "Thank you for sharing that with us. That was incredibly brave." As the cameras cut, many expected a formal apology or a statement from Kim's agency to follow. But instead, something more surprising happened. Later that evening, Lee Min-ho himself posted a cryptic message on his social media. It simply read, "I remember too." No context, no explanation, just those 3 words. That post went viral within minutes. Fans began connecting the dots. Was it a response to Kim Go Eun's tearful moment? Was it a sign that the feelings were mutual? Even after all this time, the internet had never seen such a beautifully tragic romance unfold in real time. Fans began trending hashtags like hashtag Go Eun and Min-ho and hashtag unfinished love story. Fan-made edits flooded TikTok and YouTube. The entire fandom was swept into an emotional storm. What came next only added more fuel to the fire. A few days after the interview, Kim Go Eun was spotted at a quiet cafe in Seoul, alone, reflective. But within an hour, another familiar figure was seen walking in, Lee Min-ho. No official photos were released, but eyewitnesses confirmed they spoke for hours. No press, no assistance, just the 2 of them, talking like no time had passed. Of course, the agencies remained silent, but they didn't deny it either. And in the world of Korean entertainment, silence can be louder than words. Whether it was closure, a reunion, or just 2 people revisiting a shared past, one thing was clear. Something had been reopened between them. Something real. And for fans who have long rooted for their favorite on-screen couple to become something more, this emotional chapter offered a glimpse into what might have been. And maybe, what could still be. In the days that followed, Kim Go Eun remained quiet on the matter. No interviews, no press, just a heartfelt thank you note she posted on her social media. "Thank you for the overwhelming love and support. Sometimes, being vulnerable helps us heal. And sometimes, it reminds us of what matters most." Lee Min-ho, too, didn't say anything more publicly. But his fans noticed a subtle change. He seemed more reflective, more present. In his next interview, when asked about the king, eternal monarch, he smiled gently and said, "Some projects stay with you forever. Some people do too." And just like that, the story of Kim Go Eun's breakdown during a live interview evolved into something far bigger than a viral moment. It became a symbol of love lost,